Hi everyone, welcome to Crochet Rocks. My name's Tracy and in this video I am doing the Spring Fling Tag. I was in a live stream the other day and I hadn't heard of it, and Christa from the Secret Yarnery said you totally got to do it. So I thought, okay, I'll accept that little challenge, and here it is. So I've got the questions, printed them off. And also, I've never done a vlog a day, never. And so I decided maybe that I would take part in the vlog every day in April. VEDA for short. So I've never done it. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to give it a go. So that's my first little bit of announcement. Secondly, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be informed when there are new videos. So, Spring Fling Challenge 2020. This is the questions, and the first one is, does your yarn or colour choice change with the seasons? I guess so. In the UK, we kind of get, the UK's kind of yarn is dominated by DK weight, in the shops anyway. It's by far the largest amount of yarn that you can buy. So to a certain extent, no, but then I always try my best to start bringing in some cotton and ordering online if I have to, just getting in some nice lightweight colours as well, you know, kind of summery or spring and summer colours rather than just going for the winter colours. Having said that, I like bright colours in the winter anyway, so I don't tend to do much in the dull winter colours anyway. So in some ways yes, and in other ways no. I don't tend to go for the smaller yarn weights like 3 plies and 4 plies, which I believe in the US is a sport weight and a fingering weight. I don't tend to go for those. I used to when I was younger, but I'm not really into the fine yarns to crochet with anymore. Question 2. What spring or summer colours do you like best? Well, this year, the season fashion is for pastel colours. And so I've been buying a fair amount of pastel shades. Possibly to do a few things for my daughter-in-laws and my stepdaughter, but yeah, I've been buying a fair amount of pastel, so hopefully I'll be doing something with that. But I guess blue. I would have to say that blue is my favourite colour. Even my project that I'm working on at the moment is a turquoisey colour. I do tend to go for the blues, but you know, pastel shades are really where I'm at, so I kind of like all of these lovely pastels, but just nice bright colours or pretty colours for spring and summer. Question 3. What's your favourite fibre to use in spring? Don't really have a favourite fibre. I'm not obviously if it's warm weather you might want cotton, but I still like acrylic, and as long as it's a nice light airy fabric-y feel to it once it's worked up. So there is you can always, like with this, because I knew it was going to be spring and summer months, I used a larger hook size to make it more of a lacy feel. It was still DK and still acrylic yarn, so I think, you know, if you can work with anything, but I do like to try and get in some cotton for the spring and summer. Question 4. Do you crochet more or less in the spring? I think more, I guess. I know that spring traditionally is a time when you can go out and about more, so you might do less, but at this moment in time we're going out zero, aren't we? We're kind of on a lockdown and we're all at home, so it's not really a normal spring. It's not really a normal situation. But spring and summer for me used to be where I would start laying off crochet, because it would get hot and I hate it, absolutely hate it, when the hook squeaks. But I kind of just sit there with the fan blasting on me and carry on regardless. So I'd say probably about the same, if not a smidge less, but at this particular moment in time, probably more, because of our situation that we're in. So 5, what's your favourite thing to crochet for spring? I would say bags. I love doing bags. I've got a couple that I want to do. One possibly would be really cool project for Halloween, but I love to crochet things that you can take out and about with you in the spring and in the summer. So bags. And I always love to crochet blankets. Even though blankets are good for winter, I've done a lot of blankets. So I've got quite into recently doing things for the home, like I'm doing my cush for my tush, for this particular seat. So yeah, things for the home at the moment. Question number 6. Is there a space in your home that you want to organise? And what are your organisational goals for that space? If we're talking about this one, yeah, there's a little room, and it is small. It's like a small bedroom. It's got a single bed. There's space around it on one side anyway. So it's not massive, but it's just this little room that's kind of, although it's got a bed in there, it's not really, I've just got my slippers stuck. I'll take them off. So it's not really got very much in there, and we're going to turn it into a hobby room. We just need to get a kind of sofa bed for when we have company, when we have guests. So it would replace the bedroom with a sofa bed, and then once we can do that, we can get rid of the bed and we can turn that into a hobby room. And it wouldn't just be for my yarn, it would be for Gary as well. He does a lot of drawing, and he likes making models and doing various things, so he would get a tiny bit of that space. The rest would all be mine. So yeah, that's kind of the space I'd like to organise. We have to do things before we get to it, unfortunately. It's not something that can happen overnight, but that's the idea anyway. And then that frees up the bedroom from all my yarn stash. So when cleaning your yarn stash, what do you do with the yarn you no longer want? Give it away, donate, or throw it out. Sorry about that. It's very dark over in this corner. If I put the light on, it's horrible. Don't really do anything with it, because I tend to use it, and then if I've got any little oddballs, I kind of just put them in for when I do a small tutorial or a little stash buster project. I kind of I'm quite good at using up my stash, I must admit. But if there's yarn that I really don't want, then I would donate it. I would just take it. I have took some in the past to what you would call a thrift store in the US, but we call them a charity shop. So I have given to a charity shop, and I have my favourite one, and I've got a gift card with them, so that when I donate, then they don't have to pay tax on it or something or other. So, which brings me quite nicely to the next question. Is there a charity in your area that you like to support? Tell us about it, and how can we find them? Well, that is the charity that I support the most. There's two basically that I like and that I sort of support, and one is the Kent Air Ambulance. I used to work for the ambulance service, and one of the job that I had for the most of the time that I worked there was working on the response desk. So I sent out cars, bikes and the air ambulance. So the air ambulance always kind of close to my heart, because you know, they were fun guys anyway, and girls, but we had quite a close relationship where I was dispatching them. So they had a charity shop and they had events and stuff, so I've always liked to support them when I can. But the other one is a children's hospice, which is a Kent hospice. It's called Demelza House, and Demelza has grown. It used to just be one building, but now it's kind of branched out all over Kent, and it has charity shops, and there is one that's a big furniture charity shop. And I donated. I used to have a business. What's that business? I used to have a little sideline, I guess you could call it. I sold costume jewellery, and when I didn't really want to do it anymore, I just bundled it all up and I took it to them, and I donated it to them, and then I got the gift card, so that because anything I take to them they can use with by not paying the tax on it. So Demelza House is possibly the one that benefits the most from me in that respect. And my eldest son Paul used to work for them. He only did a very small part-time job as a lifeguard for them, because Paul was a manager, a duty manager of a leisure centre, and he left that job, but he wanted to keep his qualification up. So when they advertised, he applied for it, and he used to do that on a Sunday. So I kind of feel like you know, it was kind of close to our family, if you like, as well, not just the air ambulance, but because Paul worked for Demelza. He only worked there for a short time until he moved. So that's the charities. I'll pop a link in the description box below if you wanted to check them. Check them out. Demelza House is absolutely lovely. Regarding as I say, was a lifeguard, their swimming pool is used by children all over the country. They would get them in their I'll say vans, but they're not vans, are they? They're just like little ambulances and coaches, and they would bring them down to use the facilities. So they were used by a lot of people, which is lovely. Do you want to increase your physical activity? What daily physical activity are you able to commit to? Ankle rolls or crocheting or hand stretches? I think I might be able to manage the hand stretches. I actually have very dexterous hands, believe it or not. Can you do this? No? See? They dance. Very clever with my hands. But no, that's not really a physical activity, is it? Dancing fingers. But I've been kind of conscious of the fact that since we've not been able to go out with this lockdown, that I haven't actually even been out for a walk. And I see people walking by. We've got the beach, well, the sea down the bottom, and they all have a dog, and they go out and they walk. But I don't have a dog to take, so I kind of don't go. And it's kind of, I don't even have stairs here, you know, it's a bungalow. So I noticed that my activity is really going down. In my house, it was a townhouse, so there was a lot of stairs, and I was forever getting puffed out going upstairs, but I'm not even doing that now. So, you know, I really do need to do something. And I've been a subscriber to somebody called Joe. Oh, what's his name? I don't know, can't remember his last name, but he does a lot of PE online, and since the lockdown he's been very, very popular. So I might start doing some of his little workouts with the curtains drawn, and with Gary not around to laugh at me. But you never know. I reckon it'll be all talk. That's the trouble, isn't it? But I do need to do something, because I needed to do more, and now I'm doing less, which isn't good. So number 10, how many whips do you have on the go? And how many whips do you plan to finish before June 20th? Oh my word. I have 1, 2, 4 blankets, one of which is a cowl, so that will definitely be finished. And seat cushion, the cush for my tush, which will definitely be finished. And what else do I have on the go? Is there anything else? I've finished the bag. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. One of the whips possibly won't get finished, although it will be finished, but I've left it at home, and so I can't go and get it at the moment. You know, we're not permitted to go out unless there's absolutely really good reason. And if the police stop me and I say I want to go get my crochet, I don't think they'll think that's a good enough reason. I have to say I'm going to get my medication and I'll be fine, but I guess I will definitely finish 2 of them, but I'd rather like to finish 3, and the 4th one will get finished because it's a blanket that I really want to finish. All of my whips are blankets, which I suppose is probably why, because they are quite big projects. 11. What new project do you want to start and why? Well, I want to start a couple. There's one they're both, funny enough, by both bags. One I wanted to make the sparkly bag with that sparkly ice yarn that I wanted to make. And also I have bought some cotton to make one, which would be an ideal project, but for later on in the year. But I want to do it now. So they're both bags. I just want to get them done. I also want to make some little wearables for my daughter-in-laws and stepdaughter, and maybe a skirt. I want to make a skirt. So they're all on my cards. They're all kind of ticking away. What is the oldest yarn you have in your stash, and when and why did you buy it? What's holding you back from using it? Well, I am using it, funny enough. All the oldest yarn in my stash is part of this whip, which is an old whip. I've had it going for a long time, and I think I might have shown you guys some of it. This is the yarn. It's all DK, all different colours and offcuts and bits and bobs, and I've been making this blanket for quite some time, and it's kind of a mosaic granny. In fact, when I made this, it was called a twisted granny was the actual term, but it seems to have changed its name. And I've got quite a lot of different colours, different colour schemes, reds and oranges, but it all starts with ivory and then it goes to a lighter colour and then a dark. So I only made squares when I had a light and dark of the colour. Like this is a purple, may not show up as purple, hard to photograph purple ones, they all look blue. This one actually is blue, but there's lots in here, and I did start putting them together like here. I did start to join them, but that's as far as I got. I think I might actually have another little bit that's joined, maybe not, I don't know, but there's quite a lot. So this yarn was my oldest yarn in my stash, and I'd had it for not just the black. I mean, a lot of these are the same make. A lot of the colours that I've got here are the same make, and I've had them for, well, let's see, probably since I moved into my house in 2001. So but I'd have to say I'm not being held back from using it. I'm just being held back from finishing off my whip. That's what's holding me back. I'm getting a bit warm, excuse me. How do you keep your yarn clean? Well, I leave it in the plastic as much as I possibly can. At home, I don't have anywhere to display it in any case, and so I have those big bins that have got the lids. Some of them, you know, the ones that you just have a big plastic thing and a big plastic lid that goes on top, but one of them's actually got a hinged lid. And I've got some that are they've got knitting on the front, like knitted cable, just a picture of it, but inside I've got all my yarn, and I had bought one that was a toy box for the kids, but it got smashed because they climbed in it and it got kind of sagged in the end. But I've got, say, a few of those, a couple of the plastic ones, and this big tall pink one that's got a hinged lid, so I keep it in locked away in its kind of thingies. Otherwise it's kind of kept in its cellophane. It's easy when it comes that way. This was a nice yarn order that I did, and I'm going to try and find a little project for this stuff. But yeah, so I'll keep it in the plastic as much as I possibly can, and if I can't, then I'll find some plastic and put it in. But some of it hasn't got plastic on there, but it won't last long enough on the shelves to get dirty, I don't think. How do I wash my crochet and knitted items? Well, I've never really washed a big blanket, I must admit. I've never really had one that's very, very big. But I tend to buy those wash-in bags, you know, where you can put things in there, and I've got some quite large ones, so that if you, because I had some cardigans, didn't really wear cardigans very often, but when you wash anything like that, it can go out of shape. But if you put it in the washing bag, it stops it from getting tangled around trouser legs and getting in a little knot, and so it kept their shape a bit better. So I'd put them in those things if I have to. And the last question is, what is your #1 spring cleaning tip, yarn related or not? Ooh, my #1 spring cleaning tip. Get Gary to do it, basically. Probably the best one of the lot. I hate housework. It's kind of my biggest pet peeve. Having said that, I've been quite doing the hoovering and keeping it all tidy and put away with just trying to find new places for everything. So don't really have one, to be honest with you. No. Don't have any tips anyway. Just you know, just doing it basically. There isn't anything else. I always in the spring though, if we don't have any here, but I usually like to take the curtains down, give them a wash and put them up and open the windows, and the smell just blows through the house. That's probably the only thing, because after the winter, you know, they do need a good zhuzh, like the back curtains as well as nets. But I don't have nets here. I have nets at my house, but not all the rooms have nets anymore at mine. But here we don't have any nets. So that's basically, I guess, the only one I can think of. So cheers everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. So tagging anyone? Oh, let's see, is there anyone I can tag? Let me think. Vero, maybe you can do it. Vero, sorry, said it wrong. Sandy, Left is Right Crochet. And anyone who's watching, if you want to do it, I've tagged you. There you are, you consider yourself tagged. So thank you again, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now, everyone.